Hey, what's up, stream? This is Suds and Bubbles and Avi.
What's up? It's Avi.
And we are here to cast for you tonight's match, Microsoft Excelsior versus Band By The Way. This is an exciting one, Avi.
I am absolutely excited. We are here at Stage 2, Week 3 of the OWLet tournament, and these are the top two teams in their division right now, so we are absolutely gearing up for an exciting, spicy game today. We're going to hope to see quite a few interesting plays and some really just top-tier gaming, so we'll get started here pretty shortly.
Yeah,
we're just waiting on the teams.
We're going to jump into this map real quick, but let's take a quick look at our score, our standings.
Yes.
As you can see, Microsoft Excelsior and Band By The Way topping the Strix division, both with very high win rates.
Yes. So, going to be an exciting game today. We're going to see some pretty even plays. So, you know, we may see a map 5, who knows. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we're going to start out here on Ilios.
That's right. As we've discussed, Ilios, boop capital of the world.
Yes. Oh, yes, the boop capital, Greece.
And we are starting out on everyone's favorite boop spot, the well. But,
I know it well.
Well, we're going to see some team comps start to get assembled. It looks like we're seeing a fairly standard Orisa main tank over on Band By The Way, along with that McCree. And then the Tracer, Lucio Zen, and Diva. And on the other side, we've got Hog as the only tank for the moment. But we'll probably see some swaps here before they come out of spawn.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll go ahead and see how this works. I'm pretty excited to see what both these teams are going to try to do. You'd expect them to stay away from the well as long as possible, but you know,
someone's
going
on that
in. Point eventually. Yeah,
someone's going in that well.
Do you have any ideas of who it might be?
I mean, those Roadhogs love to end up in there, but we do have Delicious going over to that Orisa for Microsoft Excelsior,
Gotcha.
So we will see how this first fight starts. Grumpy Zero looking to get on that flank as the Tracer. Get this thing started right.
Absolutely. So both teams just coming up main, doing some poke shield game, wrapping around back here. Obviously, we got some Tracers doing some flanking here. Oh, Diva almost gets pulled from the well, but flies out as soon as that pulls her in. So Grumpy Zero trying to get this tank damage in. Ooh, and a quick hook takes him out. So we'll see what's going on here. We got trades back and forth between Excelsior and Band. So looks like Excelsior getting a couple more picks here in the interim, however, and they are pushing Band off of point at this moment.
That's right. They did get that first cap, and just kind of a strong start there for Microsoft Excelsior. Band looking for some cheeky plays, but it wasn't coming out initially. And Technician goes down, staggered really bad here.
Absolutely, yeah. Just when their other players were coming back from respawn, the Technician did fall, so Band may have to stand back and wait for Technician to come back out of the spawn room. So it looks like Band has regrouped and are making their way back to the point, hopefully for a recontest. Got Excelsior holding up pretty far here in this main area of Ilios, but once you have the point, that's usually a fairly standard hold point. Grumpy Zero linking in, trying to get a flank here. Thick Daddy is harassed here by the tanks on Band, forced to go back to his healers. Got a bit of a contest going on. Tracer diving that backline is able to help take down Thick Daddy and Flamia. A couple of members of Microsoft Excelsior are down. Band coming back and retaking this point. Oh, but with a double kill from Commander Hui. Taking a few members of Band out. We'll see if this swings it back. Does not look like it, and Band has this point for their own.
And that was a little bit of an overextension there by Thick Daddy on the Roadhog. Foxer did a good job to come in and block his kill shot, and he got really low and was unable to get himself back up to full health before his whole team started to be taken out.
Onyx with a really nice headshot on Grumpy Zero. We're looking at a lopsided team fight here now on the side of Band, by the way, so hopefully they can hold here while Microsoft attempts to make a recontest. Both Orisa standing out with their shields in main. We have a Diva Bomb coming out from Foxer. Doesn't take anybody down, but she is able to get back in her mech before anything else happens. Thick Daddy does trade Lokai. Lokai is rezzed by the Mercy, so rezzed down on the side of Band. Doesn't matter though, because Destroyer is able to take down Excelsior's Zenyatta. Speaking of Zenyatta's Destroyer is popping his Transcendence, keeping Band alive after Raponix throws out his Dragon Strike. Still a pretty even team fight here on the point. Oh, and we have Destroyer! There we go! There's that pull. Delicious pulling Destroyer into the middle of the well, but we are still having a really even team fight here. Thick Daddy popping his whole hog, taking down Technician, and hopefully cleaning up the rest of Band, by the way, while Excelsior tries to get this point back. And they flip it. Unfortunately, Foxer is back to the point just a second too late, and we've got Excelsior re-defending their point here.
That's right, and you know, they did come out with the win in that fight, but the enemy got that point up to 62%, and after long extended fights like that, the winning team comes in at a disadvantage. You have to wonder if two short fights would have served them better, but Band, by the way, gonna engage right here.
Yep, Lokai popping out his Dragon Strike, taking down the Mercy on the side of Excelsior right away, which is a huge disadvantage for them. Commander Hui trying to come in and get some DPS on these tanks, but is unable to finish any of them off. And Thick Daddy pulling Foxer into the middle. We again have a decently even team fight here, but it looks like Band is pushing Excelsior off the point here, and they're retaking as well. Raponix getting a double kill before he falls, and maybe that's good for them, but they do have to recollect over at the spawn room. Unfortunately, Band is dominating on this point right now.
And that was a good job by Thick Daddy to hook the Diva as she was boosting, which makes it to where she can't fly out of that well.
Right, making that a guaranteed kill on that Diva. So, Excelsior not wasting any time trying to recontest. They have bodies on the point. Hook goes out with Thick Daddy, doesn't catch anybody. Commander Hui laying down these damage on the flank here with Hog. We'll see if they can get anybody. They are able to take down the Mercy on the side of Band, by the way. Visor comes out from Raponix for Excelsior, so we'll see if he's able to take anybody down through that Transcendence, and he does manage to get Lokai. Excelsior raking in these kills here, and they are going to take this back in overtime. I don't know that Band is going to be able to make it back to the point to recontest.
It's unlikely. Grumpy Zero's going to try, but taken out.
Tracking! Yes, Excelsior winning this first point on the well.
And we saw a good but late combo there. The Orisa dropping that supercharger just towards the end of that soldier's tack visor so that he could really start dealing damage even when he's not able to get those headshots.
Exactly. We did see Destroyer using his Transcendence to try to mitigate the damage from his visor, but exactly correct. The Orisa Supercharger is going to help tear through that massive healing burst that Zenyatta does with his ultimate.
As well as those Orisa barriers that are being placed down by the other team.
Right, yeah, both Orisas really good positioning with their shields and, you know, getting their teams to initiate. So we'll see what they do now with a bit of a different team comp here. We're swapping out the Orisas for some Winstons, Divas, and maybe even a Reinhardt, it looks like. Yeah, Delicious is sticking on Reinhardt.
That's right, and this is a interesting team comp coming out from Band, by the way. The double snipers with the Winston Diva.
Alright, so Excelsior just taking up space on this point. They're just going to start out exactly where they need to be once the point unlocks. So we'll see what happens. Lokai getting a very quick headshot on Mithra, so Excelsior is down one member and a healer. Oh, and the Rhine Shield to block for the... Oh! Raponix counters Lokai's Widow with a quick headshot from his Hanzo. So now Excelsior is up in this fight, and they just capped this point. They've kept Band, by the way, off of the point since this map started.
That's right, and
good effect.
and that was a really good job by Microsoft Excelsior to get the res onto... I believe it was Raponix. Destroyer there.
There's Zenyatta.
Yeah, they had to work as a team to make that Mercy res work. It's not an instant res anymore. You really have to protect her, especially when there's a Widow on the other side. But Raponix taking out Lokai again there.
Wow, yeah. Just getting some solid headshots here on the side of Microsoft Excelsior. So they're looking at 30% on this point. We'll see how Band tries to reinitiate this. And Excelsior is sitting on 3 ultimates as well, so even if Band tries to come in, here we go, Raponix throwing his Dragon Strike out. He is able to take down the Zenyatta and the Whitson before he's headshot by the Widow on the other side. Lokai popping off, taking both Hanzo and Mercy down on the side of Excelsior. He's taking a peek here at their Zen, so we'll see if he gets anything off. Ooh, he can't be missing these shots when his Reinhardt's gonna be there to protect him. Commander Hui getting 4 kills in a row! No tire needed for this Junkrat. Eventually he does fall to Lokai, but that's not gonna be enough for Band. The rest of their team is having to regroup at spawn right now.
Yeah, and Commander Hui just putting the team on his back there, taking out almost the entirety of Band, by the way.
Right, a legitimate resurrection on Commander Hui, by the way, so he's back on the point now with Excelsior, so we'll see how... Oh, and there he goes, using his tire now to guarantee that kill on Mailman. Band, by the way, no longer has a Mercy, and they're down one of their 2 healers, so they're really gonna... Oh! And following Hanzo right up that column, Lokai headshots Raponix and Mithra. Looks like Band, by the way, is done waiting around. Lokai getting another headshot of Commander Hui. Philimia uses his res on his Zenyatta, so we'll see what happens. Band is still up by 2 members. They're taking down Excelsior bit by bit, and they finally capped their own percentage on this point.
And we saw right there exactly why you can't flash your shield down as a Reinhardt against a Widowmaker. She was gonna take that shot at the shield regardless, but when he puts it down, that's a headshot onto the Zenyatta, and he's gone from the fight.
That's exactly correct. You have to be extremely careful. Oh, when a Widow like this, at this kind of level, is watching you, it's extremely dangerous to take any of those damage mitigation techniques out of the play.
That's right. You gotta just play big rectangle, man, in a situation like this.
You know, when you got that big rectangle, you gotta take
what
care of
a charge!
And the charge on Thick Daddy's Hoggold unfortunately cancels it out for him. We've got Destroyer using his Transcendence to keep his tank alive on point, and a big Earth Shatter coming out from Delicious. Big, it helps take down Technician and Destroyer on the point. So Band, by the way, has lost their members, and Excelsior is capping.
And that's overtime. I don't believe we're going to see Band, by the way, touch that point again.
Oh, man. And we have Excelsior taking Ilios right here, right now. No third point.
Yeah, that was, I mean, good play from both sides, but really a decisive win from Microsoft Excelsior.
Right. Yeah, and let's take a peek here at Thick Daddy on his Roadhog play.
That's right.
And again, he's getting these hooks on this Tracer, on these smaller DPS that are trying to flank.
He's really picking out exactly the targets that need to go down for his team to be successful.
And a good breather tanking move there on Diva's bomb as well at the end of that play. So you're seeing some really solid coordinated tank play is always really nice in these kinds of tournaments.
Absolutely. So that's going to be Microsoft Excelsior going up 1-0 with a map score of 2-0.
Yeah.
And, I mean, lots of good things happening on both sides there. Individual as well as team play really shining through with what these teams have been working on. And, you can see why these are two of the top teams in the league right now.
Oh, yeah, clearly they are showing us what they have in their toolkit, and they aren't afraid to break out some coordinated team plays. Again, I do want to highlight the teamwork it took to make sure that on the side of Excelsior, they got that early resurrection on their Zenyatta. Having both of your supports, especially in the beginning of that team fight, was exactly crucial to ensuring their capture of that point. So using that Reinhardt to block the Mercy while she does her res animation, as well as I did see Commander Hui doing quite a bit of area denial with his grenades, definitely ensuring that flankers won't come up and try to kill your Mercy while she's getting that resurrection off.
Definitely, and like you said, Commander Hui really coming through there for his team on that Junkrat. Just
4-man kill, no tire, just 2 mines, 5 grenades, and a dream.
Yeah.
I saw
That's
that
exactly right. It's really good area denial from in his backline, and then when necessary, he knows how far into the front line he can get, even if he can get into the enemy backline a little bit. We see him using really strong positioning on that hero.
Absolutely.
As well as the mobility offered by those mines.
Right, positioning is extremely key on heroes like Junkrat, where you have that insane burst potential, but you are a lot squishier, like a support or a standard DPS. So very good on his part.
Yeah, not to mention those slow-moving projectiles.
Oh yeah, yeah, those can be a bit difficult to aim. Junkrat main reporting.
So it looks like our next map is going to be Junkertown.
Ah, fitting, perfect.
So we'll see if we get that Junkrat coming out again here.
Oh, I'd hope so. Attacking and defending, I'd say Junkrat's fairly strong in his hometown, so a lot of those flanks he can take care of quite easily, getting on the higher ground to take care of Widows, perhaps if his team's getting bogged down by a defending Widow. Widow's going to be very good on this map as well, and as we saw, some very, very tight Widow gameplay on the side of Band, by the way. I believe it was Lokai?
It was Lokai, yes. Hitting a lot of really good shots in that map, or in that map.
A lot of red arrows.
A lot of red arrows. Coming through in spurts, but not quite to the level of consistency that they needed to take the point there.
Gotcha, and that's a fantastic point to make. That consistency is key, especially in these types of tournament competitive situations. The consistency can really make or break how effective those headshots and those eliminations are. Definitely making it on that kill feed and making an impression for the fights, but yeah, the consistency should be a little more tight on the side of that Widow play. So we'll see what happens here on Junkertown. We're getting started up right now.
That's right, and so we do see a lot of multi-tank comps being played at high levels on this map. So a lot of single support, especially on this first point as well. So we'll see what these teams have been working on to show us here.
Absolutely, yeah. I would caution to think that Bastion pick on Destroyer may not be a troll pick, and could very well be a serious part of their beginning composition.
Yeah, we do have them on attack, so that's a very good possibility. We'll see what comes out of the defense here in just a second. Actually, I guess there's yeah.
Yeah,
they should
rolling out,
be
so
coming out
they're gonna make the final picks.
It does look like they're okay. That looks a bit better. We are gonna see the quad tank with the Junkrat and just a single Mercy for support.
Okay.
So we are gonna see that
Raponics got us again.
Yep. So triple tank. Still
tank.
Single support. That Mercy can be really strong just because of the high healing numbers, just bulk healing she can put out,
right.
as well as that resurrection when you have big, large health pool teams like this, rezzing a full health tank back into a fight can completely swing the momentum in your favor.
Right, and just with the tight tank play we've been seeing here, it is extremely worth it to be resurrecting those tanks. And, you know, Thick Daddy's got his self-heal, so even if his Mercy's not right there pocketing him, he does have that survivability. So we'll see what goes on here. We've got Band, by the way, coming out of spawn now, pushing this payload out, so we'll see what goes on. Delicious and his team are holding back here, playing the Orisa Shield game. Destroyer on the point right now as Bastion. He does get taken down by Commander Hui, and Raponix gets his own kill on Technician. So, Band, by the way, getting stopped rather close to their own spawn room. They're stuck in this smaller room here now. Band, by the way, is looking like they're in a bit of a tough situation.
Yeah, and Thick Daddy
does de-mech Foxer there, getting her out of the mech and forcing that baby diva out of the fight here.
And we had a really good job by Thick Daddy seeing that Bastion and taking that flank on the Roadhog to make sure he got knocked off the point quickly.
Yes, exactly what his job is meant to be in that situation. So Mithra also doing some good Widow counterplay as Diva. Unfortunately, Grumpy Zero tries to get a quick hook on the side of Microsoft Excelsior. He's counter-hooked and is forced out of the way. Raponix already had his Dragon Strike, and he was able to take that Technician, forcing Mailman to res. But it does look like Excelsior is still going to be winning this numbers game. And a tire for Commander Hui out takes down their Mercy, no doubt. Foxer is able to take him down, however, while he's piloting that Rip Tire. And Flamia with the cheeky resurrection on Commander Hui is able to get it off, but is now caught off. Mithra coming to save her. We'll see what happens here. Microsoft Excelsior now being forced back. Lokai on this high ground isn't letting isn't letting Excelsior just stay as far up as they were before. Get a bit of a Widow flank. We'll see what happens. Lokai is forced off by Mithra. Mithra, again, doing some fantastic bullying here on the Diva.
That's right. Diva's job really is just to bully those long-range characters.
Some storm arrows taking Lokai down in that side room after all of that, unfortunately. So again, another Dragon Strike from Raponix coming out onto point. A bit of a zoning ult at this point. But Band, by the way, just pulling in these kills and really just consistently moving this payload now.
Yeah, I don't know about that ult, because now his team's going to come in here with 3 members and just kind of be held off the point, unable to contest.
And they only have 0.27 meters to go, so Excelsior needs to stay on this point or they need to leave. They have to make that decision. Mithra and Delicious trying to stay on point with their Mercy, but unfortunately they both end up dying. So at this point, it looks like they are stalling the card. Raponix and Mithra on cart now, still dancing around, and it looks like we finally have the kills from the side of Band, and they do get this first checkpoint now.
Yeah, and when you come in for the recontest there as Microsoft Excelsior, it would have been really nice to have Raponix's Dragon Strike there just to get them off the point and allow your team to get in there and take the positions that they want.
Right, that's
but
exactly correct.
When you throw that ult as a zoning ultimate with no one left from your team, you don't get that chance.
Right, and if you do take a quick look at the ultimate count right now, Band, by the way, it has 4 of their ultimates. Lokai just used her infra sights. Thick Daddy caught off a position, by the way, gonna hop back into this team fight, forcing quite a few things to go on. So Mailman is able to use her Valkyrie on the side of Band, by the way. Destroyer falls to some grenades from Commander Hui. A Diva Bomb comes up from Foxer, doesn't catch anybody, so now Mithra responds with hers, and it doesn't take anybody down either. But we've got a few ultimates coming out. Commander Hui taking Mailman down after she uses her resurrection. Thick Daddy, Raponix, Mithra, all racking in some kills for the defense here. So it looks like Excelsior has stopped Band for the moment.
Excelsior did eventually win that fight, but Band got exactly what they wanted there. They got ults out of Excelsior, as well as they just left one person sitting on that point, pushing it all the way to this like last fight point of second.
Right,
so they can't be upset about that. They've got 3 ults coming into this next fight, and they shouldn't have too hard of a time pushing this to second point.
Right, exactly. Ooh, Technician does fall, a bit of a stagger there. So Band looking like they are going to regroup before they try to get... Oh, and they're going in for a Resurrect, which does work due to the Diva Matrix from Foxer. Foxer really saving Mailman there. Unfortunately, Destroyer falls with this Bastion turret up. So even though Technician is now up and running, they may need to wait for their second support to come back.
Absolutely.
But again, that teamwork to allow this Mercy to get her resurrections without any damage to her.
Yeah,
it's really great to see these key teamwork.
You can tell that's something that both of these teams have been practicing.
Right, and we have a tank configuration coming out from Raponics on the point, as well as a Transcendence coming out from Destroyer, so we'll see what's going on. Ooh, and he is hooked out of that. Grumpy Zero pulling out his whole hog here, pushing Excelsior back, trying to make some space for his team. He does get Delicious out of the way for now, and he's going to go in for blood with his Diva. Thick Daddy trying to get away, but half the team is running after him, which may be good for Excelsior, as the other half of the team is facing 4 members of Excelsior.
Yeah, that was a really good job by Thick Daddy to draw most of Band by the Way away from the main fight on the point.
Right, and another Diva Bomb coming out. Ooh, Foxer is able to take down Excelsior's Mercy, so Band by the Way taking down that support. However, Raponics, Mithra, and Commander Hui respond with some kills of their own. So we do have Excelsior putting up a decent defense here, but the fight is still happening on the point. Raponics by himself, not with a lot of tank support, just in that Bastion turret form. Really pumping out this damage. Nobody is stopping him. Thick Daddy, Commander Hui chiming in with their own ults and just basic damage.
That's right. Ult economy has swung completely in the other direction now. Microsoft Excelsior sitting on 3. 2 of those
with 30
DPS
seconds
ults
left for Band to make this attack on the second point. Is Excelsior going to hold it here at the second point? We'll see. They have 1 team fight left against Band.
Absolutely, and we're going to see them come in, start their setup here.
Right.
Try to get an Orisa shield into a position that they can push into.
Right, and by the way, just coming in from main, they do pop the Bastion ult on the side of Excelsior, trying to get something done, but Destroyer responds with his Transcendence. Commander Hui taking down Mercy again, but that whole hog from Grumpy Zero's doing work. Lokai coming in too. Quite a few kills coming in on both sides, but Band, by the way, leading right now. Mithra's the only one on point. If they can demech Mithra and get her out of there, they can actually push this point to the checkpoint, and this may just happen.
It looks like they're going to get that.
Point. Yeah, here we go.
All of the ults coming out from Microsoft Excelsior really early in that fight. A fight like that, the longer they can kind of, I guess, you don't want to drag it out because you don't want the enemy to start getting ultimates, but you need to save some of yours for later in that fight if you can't end it quickly.
Right, timing is key. You do have to understand how the timing of those team fights work. They do have a bit of an ebb and flow to them. So if you come in rushing too hard, you do have a harder time recovering in case something from the other team comes out that's a big dent in your system. So Technician falling just to some severe damage from Excelsior. We've got a 5v4 from Band, so we'll see what they do if they're going to regroup or try to push forward and win some more kills for their team fight.
Yeah, being
Foxer
at
does take Raponics down, so teams are even, and an ult coming out from Diva. Doesn't catch anybody, but it does allow Thick Daddy to wrap around and take down Zen when nobody's looking.
Mailman does get the res off as Technician comes back in on the Reinhardt.
And we are going to see the Diva Bomb coming out from Mithra. Not catching anybody, but he does get into that mech without any trouble, so we'll see what happens. We got a couple more ults coming out. Orisa's Supercharger and Commander Hui's Riptire. Oh, and he gets a triple kill! Commander Hui coming in hot with that Riptire. Excelsior is defending this point today, and Flamia joining in on the action as Battle Mercy. Using that Valkyrie to keep her team up, and that unlimited ammo is pretty nasty. Oh, and we have a really sad Foxer
Little stagger under
yeah,
that
a little
Diva.
bit of a stagger, yeah. Oh, and before they can come back to the point, Thick Daddy just pushing him off with that whole hog. And Excelsior holds them halfway through this third point on Junkertown.
And that's not a bad hold. Band, by the way, probably needed to make that regroup when they lost Technician early in that fight, first fight on third point. They only had 60 seconds left, and kind of playing that stagger fight did not get them hardly any progress on the point. It would have been better to get their main tank back and try to make a hard consolidated push into the enemy team there.
Right, just like I was saying earlier, that timing is crucial. Understanding how, cooldowns and ultimate economies work. If you have your timing wrong, you can definitely make a pretty big mistake, a minute or 30 seconds before overtime, which will really cost your team. So
that's right, and it's always that 30-second fight that is the fight to be throwing all of your ultimates at because that's about the point where you're not going to get another full team fight. You need to have a plan for that one and execute it as swiftly as you possibly can.
At that point, what do you have to lose? Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to be swapping teams here. Excelsior now on the attacking side. Band pulling up a quick defense here. So let's take a look at these team compositions. That's...
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to see that Orisa Hog combo, at least on the defense, along with the Mercy and Zen. So we're not seeing the single support come out from Band, by the way, here on the defense. But Grumpy Zero actually taking that Junkrat here.
Yeah, we see a Junkrat on both sides, so that will be a very explosive match for us.
Yeah, and we do have the triple tank as well, so that Diva and Hog actually with the Orisa. On the attack, it does look like we're going to see that Bastion strategy tried again. We'll see if Lokai is as quick with his Roadhog flank as Thick Daddy was.
Right. So, got a bit of an Orisa shield game going on. Excelsior just steadily moving this point a bit around the bend, so Lokai caught out of position as Hog. However, it doesn't matter. Technician Grumpy Zero coming in with the damage to keep him at bay. So we've got a Resurrection coming out already on the side of Excelsior on Rapana to see if this works. Ooh, Mailman uses her Resurrection as well. So... Ooh, a nice clean hook, and Technician is down. Thick Daddy really coming in on that Orisa kill.
That could be a big
and
problem.
We already have a rip tire up from Grumpy Zero. Oh, and a good hook. Let's see if he can follow up, and there we go. Thick Daddy coming in for some kills. He's not playing around. Excelsior really wants this attack to go quickly.
Yeah, and Band, by the way, need to get out of here. They are fighting with just a Diva and a Mercy right now.
And I want to see this hook accuracy. Thick Daddy just doing work, coming in with this damage, really taking these tanks out of the fight. Band does not have this damage mitigation they need, and Excelsior has already got to the first checkpoint.
Absolutely, just really crushing through there. And Band, by the way, again, kind of getting some of their members stuck out there fighting by themselves against a full 6, and that is a difficult, if not impossible, fight to win.
And so I don't know if I could tell, did you think that they were attempting to run some sort of split comp there? Is that what happened at that moment, or was their positioning just a bit more unattended?
I think it was actually a good play by Band to get in the middle of their team and split them into a split comp they did not want to be running.
Gotcha.
But we're going to see this tank comp.
Does fall, and Raponix comes out with his tank configuration. We'll see if he can take down any other members. He's able to take down Grumpy Zero and Mailman with direct rocket hits, and Excelsior again just coming in, taking down 1 or 2 members of Band, and then cleaning up the rest as it goes.
Absolutely, we did have a rip tire come out in that fight as well, so
Raponix said hello.
Hello. And they are coming into this third point with 4 ultimates against...
And 6 minutes on the clock, Suds. That is an extremely long amount of time for them to have already here with his third points opening up.
Yeah, that's a tall order for Band, by the way, to try to hold that. And Technician gets hooked
Thick
early.
Daddy with these hooks. Hook Daddy. We can call him Hook Daddy right now.
I think that's an earned name if there ever was one.
So, Band playing a little safer back here since they lost a member, tossing out that Diva Bomb, and it gets 3 people at Excelsior! I don't know what happened with that Orisa shield, but Grumpy Zero following up with his Dragon Strike, and what do you know? A triple Diva Bomb does stop progress in its tracks.
It sure does, and I believe that was a really good catch by Foxer to see the Orisa shield come out, because you always want to send out your Diva Bomb just after Orisa fires her shield out, because she can't reposition it for, 6 seconds at that point.
Exactly. Those cooldown times are crucial, especially when you have something as devastating as that could be taken down by a shield. Oh, even though we have a supercharger coming out from Delicious, Foxer, Lokai, and Grumpy Zero just responding with pure damage. So Commander Hui trying to keep the rest of Band out of the way while he waits for his team to respond, but Band is now taking up arms and really defending with all they've got.
And this can be a really hard entry point when the enemy has long-range heroes.
Oh, and a sick headshot from Lokai. Here we go. Maybe he heard us talking about consistency, but again, just coming in with another! Look at these headshots. Look at these red arrows. Lokai's done messing around. They got to defend here, so he's clicking heads like it's tomorrow.
Raponix does get rezzed up, but all that really does for the team is burn that Mercy
Exactly,
res.
and Mailman responds with their own resurrection. They have 4 minutes left, so that's probably something they could do at this moment, considering their position.
And the tanks for Band playing really far up there.
Ults coming out from Excelsior. Raponix does take down Destroyer, and a double kill for Commander Hui! You cannot leave this man's tires unattended. So Excelsior pushing in, 4 members of Band down. Delicious with his own big rectangle to block that Fox or Diva bomb, and Excelsior's just pushing this payload to the end. Nobody from Band is gonna make it to this checkpoint to contest. Oh, and just a fancy transcendence at the end from Myth there.
That was a really smart play to throw those 2 DPS ultimates out at the same time. They used Raponix's Dragon Strike as cover for Commander Hui's Riptire so that it was more difficult to see and get the shots on. So he was able to get into the backline and take out the Widow and the Mercy with that.
And I believe this is going to be this key Diva ult that we were just talking about. There we go. Yep. Foxer really coming in key on that. That play was very well thought out.
Yeah, that was a big stop that Band needed there, but Microsoft excel with big plays of their own to finally push that card into the final checkpoint.
Right, so let's go ahead and get some map scores updated for you guys.
Gotta have numlock on if you're gonna use the number pad.
Exactly. So, Band, by the way, doing better than they did on Ilios for sure, but still unfortunately falling to Excelsior. However, we are coming up on our 3rd map, which it looks like will be King's Row, one of my favorites, as I've said before. Just all around, I think, one of the better maps that Blizzard has created for this game, to be quite honest.
It's one of the most fair ones, because you will see statistics about maps where whoever attacks second tends to have a very strong advantage, because once you see how far the enemy team pushed the cart, you know which fights matter. When you attack first, you don't know which fights matter. Maybe this one is the one that loses you the game. Right. Maybe the next one is. And you don't know where the ults have to be dropped.
Junkertown right now was a great example where
absolutely
Excelsior only had to push to maybe a third of the third point there, and so that's when they tossed out 2 DPS ultimates at the very beginning. Even though the cart was basically at the doors there, they said, whatever, we only have to move it a third of the duration there. So yeah, definitely knowing if you can put all of your ultimates, all your eggs, I should say, in one basket.
Yeah.
All your Qs in one basket.
And so in the history of competitive play, if I remember correctly, King's Row, the attacker's advantage is something like a 51% chance of winning versus a 49, whereas a lot of the other maps will be in the high 50s, low 60s for the attacker advantage. So a really great map, and not to mention one where we get to see everybody's favorite tank, Reinhardt.
Of course, everybody's favorite tank, Rectangle Man.
And so we've seen these teams today really kind of favoring the Orisa, but this is a map where at least once you get past that first point, the point that makes it hybrid, that capture point, you almost have to play Reinhardt because of those tight streets. Your shield can really protect your entire team.
Oh, a lot of those choke points absolutely are Reinhardt's shield width or just shy of it. So absolutely, he's very effective there. We've been seeing quite a bit of shield tank play, but we haven't seen my best lovely lady Zarya. So maybe we will see that, and I find that very interesting considering all of the Zarya Hanzo that we've been seeing in this tournament so far. Just with how powerful people consider the Graviton Surge and Dragon Strike combination. It's very interesting. We just haven't seen Zarya so far. 3rd map already with these 2 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. So that Zarya Hanzo combination has almost zero counterplay, especially if you've got the Mercy there to damage boost the Hanzo.
Yep, that's an oof.
There's not a whole lot you can do about that. So really strong, especially as we talked about, this tight kind of winding map is a great place for Zarya to get big Graviton Surges. So sometimes you'll actually see the opposing team run a Diva instead of a Zarya, hoping to eat some of those Graviton Surges.
Or even the Dragon Strike, yeah.
Absolutely.
If that Hanzo doesn't position himself far away enough from a Diva, that Diva Matrix can just chomp that arrow right up, and no dragons for Hanzo. So definitely, I'd love to see some good D.Va counterplay here. We've been seeing, again, like we were saying, some great tank coordination on their supports. So, you know, it's entirely possible we'll see some tank counterplay to take care of ultimates.
Absolutely, because our tank ultimates, for the most part, are crowd control ultimates, and they do require follow-up, but if you can stop the crowd control in the first place, the follow-up doesn't do nearly as much good.
Right, that's exactly correct. So we're going to get ready here fairly soon to get some exciting match going on here on King's Row. Looks like we are just making sure there's no substitutes going on the teams, but so far I've been enjoying all the play from all the members, so you know, we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, everybody looking really good today.
Right. Yeah, I've been talking about somebody at some time or another.
That's
Imagine
right.
that.
And actually, so far, I guess we're at halftime here. Commander Hui really showing us what he can do on that Junkrat. He clearly has he clearly favors that hero, but
he does.
He can make it work for him.
Right.
So,
and I haven't seen every single match in this tournament so far, but Junkrat seems to be one of the lower picked heroes. So it's really good to see somebody effectively using his kit, because it is set for this meta right now. So, you know, Junkrat in the right situations is absolutely viable. So we are getting King's Row picked up here, and I'm excited to see what the teams want to bring. Again, King's Row, one of those maps where you're probably going to see Rectangle Man, but we'll see what other picks these two lovely teams have in mind.
Absolutely. We're going to have Microsoft Excel starting on the defense here. So, I don't think we're going to see Delicious on the Genji. He does like to show that in Spawn, but, you know, you can't trust those Spawn picks.
Right, we did see quite a bit of Orisa from Delicious, so we'll see what Delicious actually picks here.
Especially with the Hog and Junkrat, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes Orisa, but we are going to see the Reinhardt come out.
We are going to see Ryan Boy. So we've got Reinhardt and Roadhog on the side of Microsoft Excelsior for their tanks. Looks like a 2-2-2 comp, so Mithra on Mercy, Raponix on Zenyatta, and then, of course, Commander Hui on his favorite, Junkrat and Flamia on Widowmaker.
That's right. It's pretty clear that Commander Hui likes playing Junkrat, and Thick Daddy loves that Roadhog.
Oh, right.
And they're both good enough at those heroes and able to work them into the compositions that their team wants to play that... so far, we've seen them make them work almost anywhere.
Right, and I do see a follow-up as well. If Thick Daddy gets a really nice hook on a tank or a meteor opponent, I do see, like, grenades, I see discords on these tanks that he's pulling in, so definite support from his team. You know, any of these heroes can work if you just have the right coordination.
Yeah, really good communication from Microsoft Excelsior to capitalize those hooks by Thick Daddy, but we are going to see double Sniper coming out from Band, by the way, along with their own Reinhardt, and they will have that D.Va, but no Zarya Gravitons to eat from the opposing team.
So a bit of shield play here at the statue, as is expected, but Thick Daddy getting a nice thick hook right away. Looks like Mailman's going to come in to res that, though, but they did make Band use their res here in the first 30 seconds of the map, so we'll see how this pans out. Ooh. Oh, and Lokai just getting a real clean headshot on 2 members, 3 members! What is going on? Band is not playing around here. We've got King's Row, belongs to Lokai. Let's see these other headshots coming out. 3 headshots, fantastic.
And the res did come in, but Band for Excelsior, but Band did lose a couple of members there in that hotel, which forced them to back out.
Absolutely, they did. Yes, Excelsior is forced to back up, but they did follow up with some good res and some good kills. So Band pushing in, knowing that Excelsior might be a bit low on their resources. Flamia is able to take down Technician on the side of Band, which is a little unfortunate for them. But Grumpy Zero follows up with 2 kills, letting his Dragon Strike do some work. Flamia takes Lokai down in the Widow battle, but it's not gonna matter, unfortunately. And Flamia falls as well. Band is taking this point right now.
Yeah, Lokai looking the other way as Flamia got him in his sights, but the fight had already been won by Band by the time that happened. And interestingly, we've got the Hanzo and Mercy taking the space on the second point here instead of the tanks for Band. So they were able to survive, but that's something you don't see very often.
A little unconventional, but all right, Thick Daddy coming in with those hooks. They have to make sure that they watch out for those. He's been hitting them left and right, so you can't just trust he'll miss it. got a Transcendence coming up from Raponics, and a response as well with a Riptire from Commander Hui. I don't know if it's caught anybody yet, but there we go. Destroyer falling, unfortunately, to that, but they are pushing this payload up. Oh, and Delicious with a few clean hammer swings just takes Technician down. Lokai cleaning up Flamia.
Yeah,
So
and Band is going to want to reset here because
definitely
Delicious
are.
has that Earth Shatter, and without Technician to protect you, you don't really want to be standing in front of him.
Right.
So 4 ults up for Band, by the way, here. Everything except their sniper ultimates.
4 ults and 4 minutes on the clock. They're in a very strong position here, so we'll see how they take this advantageous positioning. So we already have Mailman popping that Valkyrie. We'll see if we see any other ultimates from Band. Oh, and it looks like we got Delicious maybe baiting out that Earth Shatter, and he's able to block it with his shield at the last second. We have a follow-up, 2 trances out from both teams. They're just keeping these teams alive, and a big Earth Shatter on the side of Technician. He comes in swinging, we'll see what happens. But Commander Hui is cleaning up these tanks, this DPS. Excelsior sees these ults, but just holds Band off either way.
That was a really good bait by Delicious. He let his shield get down to about 500 health, so there were lots of cracks showing in it, and he dropped it. And when you see that from the other side, you are going to either think that he doesn't want to put it up because he needs it to charge, or that it broke. But you really have to listen for the voice line to know if it broke, and you also have to know that a good Reinhardt is A, not going to let it break, and B, going to save that one bit of shield to block your shatter.
Exactly. You don't need the entire 2,000 health on that shield to block an Earth Shatter. You just need enough for that shield to be up to block that entire ultimate. So very smart on his side. We do have Technician already looking at another Earth Shatter though, so we'll see how this works. Commander Hui throws his Riptire out. He's coming around back, so we'll see what he... Oh! And he takes down Destroyer, even though he was looking for it. Mithra does have to get Raponics up with her Resurrection, so we'll see. Band trying to make some space, and they are able to get this cart moving down the streets just a little more. And Technician trying to get a good Earth Shatter. He doesn't get the Reinhardt, but he is able to take down the 2 supports, and Excelsior is losing their supports, and it looks like they've lost this team fight here on the second point.
That's right. That's really poor positioning from Excelsior to let their supports and Widow get taken down by that Earth Shatter. They really need to be, standing behind the Reinhardt shield, and it is possible that Delicious had a couple of sidesteps there to leave them out in the open.
Right, but it looks like we have this this checkpoint reached here for Band, so now they're just looking at getting this 3rd point on King's Row. Got a bit of a shield game going on here now on point. Ooh, some nice chunky shots coming out from Grumpy Zero. However, Delicious follows up with a nice Earth Shatter, and they take down 3 members of Band, so they're forced to regroup now.
That's right, and Band is going to want to keep an eye out on the left side of the screen here, because we saw Thick Daddy going for a Roadhog flank over there, trying to get behind their team, so you can't let him be doing that.
Exactly. If you let somebody like Roadhog flank, you can absolutely lose a support or a DPS in an instant. Even a tank if the tank is kind of lower if he has some assistance. So you have to be very careful with that control ability of his.
Absolutely.
So Flamia just dominating this high ground even with the double sniper from Band. So we'll see if somebody tries to contest him soon. Commander Hui using his Riptire to take Technician out. So Band has lost their main tank. Ooh, and Raponics following up with that Diva kill. So we've got no tanks on the side of Band. And they're just hoping that their DPS and supports can make something work, but looks like they're still being held back. Thick Daddy getting bullied by Widow there, sad face, but he does regroup and he's fine. He's a big boy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's a big fucking boy. So we have Boxer tossing that Diva Bomb out, and somehow Commander Hui falls to it, even with 2 shield tanks. So Technician wants to get in there. Looks like he's trying to... Oh, and he does get this Earth Shatter off on a couple members of Excelsior. So the follow-up just isn't there, unfortunately, for him. But we do have a Destroyer using his Transcendence for Band. Thick Daddy getting Diva hooked off the map, actually. We can see there on the kill feed. And a big Earth Shatter from Delicious coming out. And he is able to take down both Mercy and Hanzo from Band. So even though... Excelsior was defending here. They lost a couple members, but they're regrouping faster than Band. Technician just on this point, though, pushing. Excelsior is a little afraid to engage him, it seems.
His team's going to be coming back here shortly. He's got Foxer on the Zarya now.
Ooh, and Thick Daddy did get a hook on that Zenyatta, but Delicious follows up with that Flame Strike. So Band gets a 5v6 now, so I don't know if they're going to want to... Oh! And Thick Daddy again with the thick hook pulls Technician off the map. So Band is again forced to regroup. They have 55 seconds left. A quick hello from Grumpy Zero here, letting him know he's watching, he's playing. But they don't have a lot of time here. They've got 3 ultimates in the queue, so we'll see if they can use these. They got one of each, tank, support, and DPS, so we'll see what happens. But they do need to engage shortly. They've got 35 seconds on the clock left. Ooh, and he does get a thick hook on the Mercy! Mailman pops that Valkyrie and then dies, which means he's no longer going to have it when he comes back. We've got a Rally coming out, and Thick Daddy with these thick hooks. I can't explain how excited I am to see these thick hooks coming out from this Roadhog. And he is just pushing this team back. Band is just, look at this. He's pushing up a little far here. We'll see if his team's going to support him. Band needs to get to this payload, and this whole hog, I think, is just going to keep the remaining members off. Destroyer puts his body on there with his Transcendence a bit early, and his tanks follow up. But Thick Daddy pulls Technician off the map again! Popping Whole Hog, but he does fall to a pretty high-energy Zarya. We'll see what happens. Foxer is helping mitigate some of this damage. But it looks like Delicious is going to come in with this bigger shatter, and no longer is Band going to be contesting this point. Microsoft Excelsior is defending. No third point for Band.
Unbelievable play from Thick Daddy for the entirety of that third point.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
His new name, we've decided, I'll buy him the account if he needs it, Hook Daddy.
Hook Daddy,
because
I love it.
He
Hook
hits...
Daddy, if you hear this, we're going to try to get you Hook Daddy as your secondary Smurf account.
Yeah, if he doesn't already have it. Because, boy.
And those juicy left clicks, too.
Yeah,
Saw
absolutely.
the tracking. He was really bodying that Zenyatta. Destroyer barely getting saved by, you know, Foxer's shields there at the very end. So, I mean, just solid play from both teams. But, I mean, we got a few shining stars here.
He's able to get the follow-up on his own hooks, but on the off chance that it's not quite enough, his team is still there to help him out.
Right, and again, yeah, that's a fantastic combination. That coordination there, you know, from Excelsior is really shining through when these team members use ultimates or abilities even, and then they just get follow-up that makes them that much more viable. Yeah, and twice we saw him hook
Delicious off the map there, which...
Same exact spot both times, yeah.
Yeah, it really just is not something that you can be letting happen.
Yeah. You know, it happens to the best of us. It does, but you can't let it happen twice in 45 seconds. That's a little less, little bit less of an issue.
And I mean, we pointed it out right at the start of that third point. He was looking for those cheeky flanks the whole time, and they were just letting him have them.
Absolutely, and it's gonna be really difficult to really rationalize that. When you have 2 snipers, you really should be able to get these thick headshots and body shots on somebody as large as Roadhog. But
that's true. But the issue there is the snipers can't really deny him those flank spaces.
Right. Yeah. I suppose, especially if he can one-shot you if you step out of line too. Yeah, it's a bit harder than it is. Easier said than done for sure. So we have Excelsior hopping on a point right away. So one member from each team falls right away. Thick Daddy goes down and Technician also falls. So we do have just a bit of a team fight going on. So we're gonna see how this plays out. Grumpy Zero takes Commander Hui down. So Excelsior might want to regroup, but Reponix just responds with a trade of their own. So Mailman going in for that resurrection, and he gets slammed into the Dragon Strike by Technician's hammer. So Excelsior getting 3 key picks here that swings this team fight right back around.
And that team fight was lost very early on by just some poor shield management by Technician. By the time that Microsoft Excelsior were able to contest the point, his shield was already broken. And as a Reinhardt, you can't play Reinhardt with a shield of only 500 health. You have to start a team fight with a 2,000 health shield.
That's exactly correct. You really need to do resource management, especially with somebody like Reinhardt. Your shield is one of the biggest parts of your kit that makes you exactly who you are, a damage mitigator. And let's just go back to Thick Daddy getting Grumpy Zero in the streets level here. So again, we're coming in for a really cheeky flank. So we'll see if he gets it. He waits for those shields to go down. He knows peeking's gonna cause shields to come out. And even not shooting into the Zarya shield, we've got some great mechanics going on, but Raponix throws his Dragon Strike out and takes Mailman out. So Band, they've lost one of their supports. Earthshatter coming out from Technician, he charges in, but we've got a response from Mithra with that Transcendence. Commander Hui in the backline now, taking down one of the supports with his Riptire. Delicious cleaning up with Raponix, so Excelsior says, alright, that's fine, you got an Earthshatter, we'll just respond with a couple ults of our own.
And Delicious did a really good job there. He was not caught in the Earth Shatter himself, but two of his squishies were, and he jumped in front of that Reinhardt charge because he had the health to take it.
Exactly.
And then his Zenyatta, as soon as he came out of that stun, popped the Transcendence, kept Delicious up, and that was enough to win the team fight.
Exactly, you know, because in that scenario, the best case is the Reinhardt blocks the entirety of it, but just like you were saying, he did the next best thing, and he became the target for all that damage, because he can soak it up. So, we're going to see again here, both Hogs kind of having a bit of a fight. And Thick Daddy, you can't play around with Thick Daddy's hooks! He comes in, pulls Slowkai up the side of the map. We have a Graviton coming out, and Grumpy Zero comes in with that combo. So, Band taking down half of Excelsior in one go. Unfortunately, Thick Daddy thought he should use his whole hog there, so he has lost that now. Mithra falling really late in that team fight as well, so Excelsior is going to want to regroup. They have 5 minutes, so there shouldn't be a rush. They did use their Resurrection on Mithra, though, so they will be able to get into this team fight a lot faster. That's exactly what it looks like they're doing. Commander Hui is going to initiate through the top, and he gets a triple kill! This man has been throwing tires left and right all day. You can't let him just do that, but they did. Raponix coming in with some follow-up damage and Thick Daddy alongside, but we've got Band, by the way, taking out Excelsior. I'm sorry, other way around. Excelsior taking out Band, and Destroyer falls really late in that team fight as well. Oh my goodness, and Excelsior taking King's Row.
Very impressive play by Microsoft Excelsior. They are sitting just barely above Band in the standings, but still showing that they're honestly just outclassing them to some extent here. Really, and a large part of it is due to hero plays by Thick Daddy and Commander Hui. They are just really showing what they've got here. The rest of the team playing super well as well, but those two players especially standing out here in this match.
Right, and you know, on that subject, I think that sometimes it can be a bit of an issue to think that you know, your DPS players need to carry the team. They have to be the ones that are you know, highlighting the kill feed, and that's not what's happening here. We're seeing the true core of Overwatch as a teamwork, competitive-based game. You see, you know, Commander Hui coming in with 3 Riptire kills, and then his team just rushes in and they clean up because they know that they now have a huge advantage because of the actions of one person. So again, we're seeing really clean, really tight teamwork, and it's fantastic to see on both sides. But again, Excelsior really just kind of stepping one step up from Band in a lot of these situations here, and we can see it showing in this scoreboard as well.
Definitely, and as you said, it's not necessary for the DPS roles to carry, and we see a lot of really great, like, even hero plays coming out from the from the tanks and supports on this team. They're just not necessarily as flashy. Like the Reinhardt jumping in front of the charge we pointed out.
Right.
That is a fight winner.
Exactly.
If your Zenyatta gets pinned there, you have to regroup, and instead they got the second point from that single action by the tank.
Exactly. You do see that result, you know, directly affected by the actions of the tanks there, you know, protecting the far, far more fragile DPS and supports on their team. So, you know, you're right. We don't see things like that all the time because it's not as flashy. It doesn't pop up in the kill feed that the Reinhardt tanked for his team. But, you know, with this kind of layout, it's fantastic to see these kinds of decisions directly affecting the team fights. So, you know, just seeing fantastic plays here. we see these tanks protecting the Mercies for their resurrections, so they get them off more often. Just really solid understanding of the game here.
Yeah, they. Oh man, this has been a pleasure to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, while we are very much highlighting Microsoft Excelsior, in no way is Band playing poorly.
Oh no, of course not.
Band has some good things going for them. Their teamwork is also up there.
Right, exactly.
And just I mean, they're doing what they can. Microsoft Excelsior just seems to be a step above in this league.
Right. So I think in this kind of situation, Band is really doing the best that they can, and you can see it. They are coordinating really tight team plays as well, either on defense or attack. You are seeing some of their DPS highlighting themselves in that kill feed. Lokai, can we talk about that triple headshot on the attack?
Goodness.
I know that they weren't able to cap that point right away, but I mean that really did lead them to getting that first capture, and they were able to push the cart halfway through that third point on King's Row, so in no way are they, falling prey to Excelsior. But yeah, seeing those really key plays from them as well, it's very encouraging.
Absolutely, and just really, really good play all around. As we keep saying in this entire league, we're seeing a higher level play than you would expect from a league with a platinum SR cap.
Exactly, right, yeah. So, that is one of my favorite things about this tournament is, you aren't seeing top 500s and your grandmasters and professional players playing. So, you are going to see mistakes. You are going to see, lapses in judgment.
The player for Boston Uprising?
What?
Mistakes?
Mistakes. This commentary has been brought to you by Blizzard Entertainment. No, but but then
my apologies.
No, it's good. It's great. I love it. But then after that, after you do see, misplays or perhaps, lapses in judgment, you also see fantastic things, that you also see at these higher levels. So it is great to see, even with this platinum cap, that you see so much great teamwork, composition understanding. You do see players reacting to the opponent's composition. So, we aren't seeing, people who are new to Overwatch playing. We're seeing people who understand the game. They, cooperate and communicate effectively with their teammates. So, hats off to these coaches that are coaching these teams. I can really tell that the work that they're putting into this team is shining. Both of these teams look like they have fantastic cohesion and, communication skills, because we see things happening as they should. We don't watch a Reinhardt wait to figure out if he needs to protect his support. We don't see like a Widow waiting to try to flank to get a key pick. We see it happening because they know that they can do it, and they know if they get away with it, then they're winning fights. So it's just great to see all around.
Yeah, and things are going really well throughout this tournament.
Right.
We've got a lot of teams, as you said, just getting better and better and better and better.
Yeah, it's great to see the progress.
So we are about to get into the next map here, actually. We do have one sub on the side of Microsoft Excelsior.
Okay.
We're going to bring in Napalm Bait for Mithra.
So
right. Probably swapping in on that support role. You have to wonder if they brought him in to possibly run that single support while they put the other on a DPS, but who knows? We'll see here soon.
We will see very soon. So we are pulling up this final map of this day. It is going to be Volskaya Industries.
Volskaya Industries.
Volskaya Industry.
So
in the motherland of Russia.
Ooh.
Russia. I don't know how they say it in Russian.
Me either, actually. But I think they just call it the motherland. But
yeah, probably.
They can call it whatever they want.
That's
because they've
true.
got these giant freaking mechs protecting it.
Yeah, if you land in Moscow International Airport and you walk out and you see these things, they can call this country whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, just okay.
Ooh, and a great kill on Delicious and Raponics there, both falling off the map. That's gonna be really good for Band.
Yeah, just having a little
both
fun
of the
here.
Shimada bros just really
just
committing suicide.
just teasing Band with the characters that they may
Right.
or may not be running here.
Absolutely, yeah. While I don't know that we're going to see some Genji, I believe we are going to see Raponics stay on that Hanzo, as we have seen some pretty good DPS coming out from the side of Excelsior with him on that Hanzo.
That's right.
So
We are going to keep Commander Hui and Thick Daddy on their
star
the
heroes.
roles they were born to play.
I
Meanwhile, the Reinhardt and then a Mercy Zen support comp here.
I hope that Thick Daddy and Commander Hui are best friends in real life. I think that would really tie everything together with a nice Australian bow.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
That would be. So, Napalm Bait coming in strong with this sub, is able to take down Technician with the help of his team with some charge up. So, you know, we've got some key picks going on already. So Band has to use their Mercy Res right away. Lokai taking down Raponics while Excelsior's not looking. So we'll see what's going on here between this sniper battle.
Yeah, and Napalm Bait sitting on the
Flingy,
bench for three maps
games,
clearly
yeah.
didn't cause him any problems.
Right, no it did not. Flamia getting that res off, and Thick Daddy taking Lokai down as a threat, so now Excelsior is able to push up a little bit in this chokehold, so we'll see what Band wants to do now that they're forced to regroup.
And just spamming here with the Zenyatta and the
Raponics
Junkrat.
with a Dragon Strike already. They take down Mailman, so Band doesn't have a mercy. And we have Lokai again with some great headshots, but unfortunately Band isn't following up. A second headshot on Flamia, so both teams are pretty even right now. They've lost some tanks, lost some supports. We'll see. Excelsior is forced to push back. They don't have any tanks right now in a solo Zen, so we'll see if Hui and Eponics can hold this point. A really juicy charge there, but Lokai again with these headshots. We have a little more consistency now in Volskaya. Excelsior with a strong beginning to their defense just kind of crumbled at the end there. What do you think happened, Suds?
You know, that's just a matter of if they had wanted to recontest that point, those three survivors needed to back off a bit and just kind of hide somewhere and wait, because they had time for the respawns to come back despite that respawn disadvantage that the defenders have on first.
Right.
But just standing on point waiting for that Widow to shoot you is not the way to recontest.
Exactly, no, and we did see Lokai coming in with a headshot as if she can hit. Wow, 2 headshots! I mean, come on, Lokai just pulling a lot of weight here with these eliminations, taking down Commander Hui's Riptire. Sorry, not today, buddy. You're not getting another triple kill with that one. So we have Band coming in, and they're just going to go ahead and start initiating this. Why not? Lokai's killing everybody. Raponics throws out his Dragon Strike, but unfortunately only takes down the Mercy, so we'll see if that's enough for them. Foxer taking down one of Excelsior's supports with their Diva Bomb. Lokai again following up with his damage on these tanks. And Technician with a juicy Fire Strike. I think Band is looking pretty strong right now in this attack. Commander Hui coming back on that Doomfist, no longer on Junkrat, but he does fall eventually. Looks like he wanted to get there quick. Napalm Bait switching over to Lucio, contests a little bit. And now we have Delicious here on Winston, but he falls rather quick. We got Tracer pick from Thick Daddy. They're just trying to stall here now, but it looks like Band is prepared for this one. Raponics coming in as Genji falls right away. It looks like they're just racking in the kills, and Band 4 minutes 53 seconds on the clock here on Volskaya, turning this around for themselves a bit.
That was a really great fight on second point, and it looked like for Band, having your DPS pop off a little bit is all they really needed.
Right.
You know, Lokai getting those 3 early kills just opened them up to where Microsoft Excelsior was just staggering onto the point and
Right, exactly,
being
wow.
forced to swap onto these high mobility heroes and resetting their ult economy, as well as only being able to fight 1 or 2 of them at a time. All they could do there was stall, and they only knocked 3 minutes off the total clock time.
Right, yeah, you know, in that scenario, you either stall or you try to regroup as best you can for a legitimate team fight without, you know, losing that ult economy and losing, you know, anything else that you had on that hero. So, you know, we're gonna see this. Forgive me. We're gonna see the side switch here now. Band is going to be defending now with Excelsior attacking. So, but yeah, just some key picks there. Lokai really pulling in that damage to help his team just kind of move in, get a little more comfortable with that initiation, which really paid off for them in the end.
And we are going to see this triple tank composition on the defense with Lokai on the Hog, which we saw them run, I believe it was on Junkertown with mild, mixed results.
Unfortunately,
However,
yeah.
we're going to see something we saw in the last game we casted, which is this Slambulance composition coming out from Microsoft Excelsior, which is the 4 tanks, so lots of health pools, and then the Lucio and Moira. So lots of healing from the Moira, area healing from the Lucio, as well as that speed boost. So their goal is going to be to just bypass this choke, run right through it, get on the point, and make Band try to fight into them while they stand there and just defend themselves on that point.
Right, yeah. And with this triple tank from Band, it looks like they're just going to do the standard, hold at the main choke and, react to what the attackers do. So we'll see how this works coming in. So already Excelsior, just like you said, rushes in with the Lucio here on this side room, and they're going all the way to this high ground. Instead of just going straight to point, they're going to try to fake him out a bit and go to this high ground. And, yep, exactly what you said. Band is forced to start defending here on this point. So we have both teams just kind of moving around. Napalm Bait already booping Destroyer off the map, it seems. Thick Daddy demeching Foxer on that D.Va. So Band is losing their tank health pool pretty fast here. We'll see if Grumpy Zero can follow up with these tank kills. He's going to need to help do something here. He is able to get his Dragon Strike up and ready. A bit of a damage zoning ult here as it lands right on Thick Daddy, but unfortunately, he's got a hell of a lot of health. And it looks like Excelsior eventually, through the fray, manages to get 4 people on point, and they're going to cap here.
And, Band actually able to hold that reasonably well considering the way the Slambulance strategy works. They defended it exactly the way you want to. You want to beat them to point and make them continue to try to push into you because they're great at holding space, but less so at taking it from you.
Right, and with that Slambulance, you got to move in fast, and that momentum can die pretty quickly. So we do have a Earthshatter coming out from Technician, but unfortunately, he does fall as he tries to charge in for the follow-up. Lokai gets Raponics out of mech, so it looks like Band might be getting these tanks down. Thick Daddy with the thick hook again, causing Foxer to drop that D.Va bomb. She does get back into mech, and a whole hog coming out from Lokai, so it looks like Band, by the way, holding the point here with Grumpy Zero following up with quite a bit of damage on that Hanzo. So Excelsior forced to regroup. Unfortunately, Thick Daddy caught out of position and dies pretty late.
That's right. Excelsior not in too bad of a spot here, though. They're up a little bit in the ult economy. They're going to be having that Graviton coming online from Commander Hui here, probably in this fight.
That's exactly correct, and they have 6 minutes left on the clock, so not exactly a time worth rushing for, but, they do want to do it as quickly as possible to allow themselves the most time over, these side switches.
That's right. I expect once the grab comes out, we're going to see the whole hog to break the Rhine Shield and then that D.Va bomb to kill everyone.
Absolutely. So Destroyer popping this Transcendence pretty early, and Napalm Bait responds with the beat drop. And just like you said, we have a Graviton Surge coming out with Flamia and Raponics, Thick Daddy, all 3 of them following up on these kills, and it looks like it worked. We've got a team kill here. Excelsior wiping Band off the point all at once so they can't come in and do the cheeky recontest. We have a tiny bit of a recontest. Technician popping on Tracer. It doesn't matter. Excelsior cleans it up anyways, and they've got just a little over 5 minutes in the bank.
And, that ult combination was exactly what you want to do if you want to close this point out right now. You land that Graviton, get everyone in there. What's Ryan's first thing he's going to do once he lands in that Graviton going to be? He's going to put his shield up. So Thick Daddy lets out that hold hog, shreds the shield. At the same time, you have the D.Va bomb come out on the other side, and just once that shield's gone, there's nothing to defend them from that insane burst damage.
And not to mention, on top of all that, you have their friendly Moira coalesce. So not only is that coalescence bursting damage and healing, it goes through that Rhine Shield, it heals up your hog who's doing whole hog, and then anybody else who wants to run in there, like your Reinhardt, and wants to swing their big hammer around, whatever, they're getting healed up at a crazy rate as well. So yes, just really precise ult economy, and they just come in swinging, they do one decisive move, and I mean, we saw their Excelsior able to, stall that point quite a while, on the Doomfist, the Lucio, the Tracer. They counter that themselves just by getting one quick team kill and then pushing everybody off. So yeah, really, really tight moves. We're going to see how it works here with Excelsior defending now. Band looking like they want to try to do a repeat.
Yeah, Band wants to try to run the Slambulance themselves, except with that Brigitte instead of the Zarya.
Which may work for them. We'll see what happens. They that stun on Brigida is no joke, as a lot of people, unfortunately, are familiar with. And here we go. Just a big old team fight mess going on here. So we've got quite a few people throwing out quite a few abilities. A bit of a pincer move from Band, approaching this point from both sides, but Lokai coming in, just swinging the space around, and unfortunately falls, but Band really just cleaning up these kills here. Excelsior is falling apart bit by bit, it seems.
Yeah, and Band actually taking a little bit of a different strategy there with the Slambulance. Instead of running towards the point, they just ran straight into the middle of that team with the Brigida stun.
They did.
And Lokai actually going to swap over to the Pharah here.
I don't know if you saw it, but the Flamia tried to pull out that pistol and that flame strike landed right on. You know, you go down swinging. That's what you do, Flamia. I see you. That's exactly what you support's got to do.
That's right, so we're going to see this Pharah come out. Commander Hui sitting on that Riptire here, so we'll see how that works for him. Oh, nope, Lokai just used the Pharah to get to his other spawn, so
okay.
actually running the Brigida again.
Interesting,
here.
but you know, not gonna question it. Foxer gets demeched and killed, so let's see if Excelsior waits. They are pushed up a little bit, so Band, or forgive me, Excelsior's trying to push Band out since they're pushed up a little bit. Thick Daddy getting out pretty far, but his team's there to support him, so we've got a bit of a team fight happening closer to this main chokehold than anything, but we'll see how this works. It looks like Commander Hui's going for a quick Riptire. He is. He's going over the side, behind the team, and with that Diva Bomb from Foxer as well, so we've got a trade here. Napalm Bait falls, but Grumpy Zero falls as well. Delicious goes down, so it looks like Band is up in the team fight right now, so we'll see what happens. Destroyer popping his beat drop, keeping his team up on point, so we've got a Valkyrie coming out as well. We've got a Transcendence on point from Napalm Bait, as well as that Attack Visor. Commander Hui with another Riptire. Hello with a double kill. He's going to bring this attack to a halt, getting Foxer out of mech. Thick Daddy and Raponix following up on this kill. What is happening? How fast can Junkrat get his ultimate?
Apparently in a matter of seconds. Commander Hui building that ultimate.
Wow.
In no time, basically in the time it took him to respawn.
I want to review the VOD later.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought I had just said he pulled this Riptire. He has another one.
Yeah,
another one.
That was two in a fight, and actually, at the same time, both teams on their attacks making really good use of that Lucio ult to extend these fights on second point.
Absolutely, yeah, no, a really solid Lucio ult from Destroyer, so we got a bit of a tank collage here going on in front, so Lokai trying to make some space for his team on this Widowmaker. We'll see if that happens. Yep, Delicious does fall on Reinhardt. We got a Coalescence out from Mailman. Pushing Excelsior off, literally. And it looks like Technician coming in with a really thick charge as well. So we got Band just dominating this point. Excelsior is going to need to stall, but I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to. And clearly, here's my answer. A minute 56 left for Band.
Yeah, I mean, this map has the strong potential to go into a 5th and 6th round. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I meant...
Volskaya Industries? A 2 CP? I'm sorry, what does Blizzard call it? Assault?
Assault.
Forgive me.
It's because it makes you so salty.
It makes you a salt boy? Yeah, it does. I don't like to get too personal with the casting, but I'll be damned if Volskaya is my least favorite map out of every single map they've ever made. And I think it's designed for the most part pretty well. This always happens, you know. You get a flip flop. Everybody's defending, everybody's attacking. You get to a 6-6, and sometimes you don't even, end up winning. There's a tie, so it's pretty upsetting.
You play this map for 45 minutes and come out with a draw.
45 minutes to a draw. 45 minutes. I could study a language for the day. I could make dinner. I could take a dog out for a walk.
Instead, I got a draw on Volskaya.
Instead, I gotta look at Snow and Zarya. Look at that Zarya real quick. Beautiful. All right. So we've got Excelsior attacking now, correct?
That's right.
Perfect. And both teams running a little bit of hybrid to what they were doing before. We've got Excelsior trying to sneak in here, and Band is waiting for them in that room. So we'll see what happens in here. Technician charges Delicious right into the wall, so it looks like they did a bit of a counterattack, but somebody's on point from Excelsior, driving Band to the point, and we've paused for a single moment.
Yeah, it looks like Raponics had about 1,000 millisecond ping. That's going to be 1 full second. Makes playing this particular game quite difficult.
Yeah.
Actually, any game, but this one especially.
I was going to say, take any game you've ever played and make everything a 1 second delay. Tell me it's
chess?
easy. Suds, you're
I'm just here
busting
to
my balls with these setups
yeah.
you're giving me. Looks like we should hopefully have this fixed here in just a short second.
There we go.
And we are resuming in 2, 1, go. So, Band collecting here on point, pushing Thick Daddy out of the way. Excelsior does group up to hopefully help him get out of there, but he does get pushed off into that back room.
Yeah, and while Band was probably expecting this Slambulance comp to come through again, it doesn't help when you lose all possibility of surprise because one of your members had that ping issue.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate. However, we do see them up in ult charge percentage, as well as they did stop that that quick attack from Excelsior. So we have Commander Hui actually moving on over to this Pharah, so another projectile explosive hero. We'll see how this affects the team fight here, but we've got a bit of just a standard initiation here. Lokai looking for these headshots of Commander Hui while he's in the air, but no contest here. And we've got quite a good damage output here. So Man popping that Coalescence is able to get Lokai out of the mix, but Commander Hui just really following up. You can't shift out of that when you're in Coalescence, so... Ooh, and just taking advantage of that. Thick Daddy following up on damage as well, so both of these tanks for Band are out, and it looks like Excelsior's made their mark on the first point now. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. They're making some fairly good time after that first initial upset, I guess we could call it.
Yeah, and the decider there was Mailman popping that the Coalescence just a little bit too late to keep Technician up. Holy
I was
crap.
drinking water, but Lokai doesn't sleep. Looking for that kill at Commander Hui, keeping him out of the air. So a really good, very interesting stagger. So we got Thick Daddy trying to come in to get a cheeky hook, but he's counter hooked. Excuse me. And another just clean and quick elimination from Lokai. Really just staggering these members of Excelsior. So we're gonna see what happens here. I mean, just really oppressing them off of this point, keeping them out of that main area. So, and again, the fadeaway! Can we get this man a medal or something? That fadeaway is nasty. We got again!
The same exact shot!
One.
The
Same
exact shot!
I don't have the voice for this right now, but man, Lokai really cleaning up on Volskaya. I mean, if you want to make an impression, just go ahead and ooh! And as I'm talking, Raponics does a quick counter snipe, but you know, no, it wasn't 4 kills in 20 seconds. Let's just
make that clear.
And now it looks like Raponics is determined to prove me wrong. So we'll see what happens here. We got a quick initiation from Excelsior now coming in, since Excelsior was able to take down a few members of Band. We've got the Lucio beat drop coming out, as well as the Nano. So we'll see if this goes through, this Transcendence. And he's counter shattered here. We have a Diva Bomb coming out as well from Band. But it doesn't look like it gets anybody. She gets right back in her mech. And the longest hook of my life comes out as Destroyer falls to Thick Daddy. But Band is up in these kills right now, so Thick Daddy's going to make his retreat back to his team. Wow, quite a few things happening there. Quite a few ults came out.
Yeah, ultimates on both sides, but now Raponics sitting on that infra site, so we'll see if they can make good use of that to engage here.
I believe Flamia making the switch on over to Mercy, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Flamia was their Moira. So
that's absolutely right.
So let's go ahead and see what happens. Raponics, that infrared sights definitely helping the team out. Delicious taking down Destroyer right away, so Band is down 1 member. Technician comes in trying to make some space with his charging. Grumpy Zero is able to do some damage on Thick Daddy since he's nanoed through that whole hog. Commander Hui back on Junkrat, follows up on Technician, and mid-air, Raponics taking 2 members of Band down, headshots. Let's see what happens. Excelsior's gonna start making some moves here, or they're gonna lose this momentum. A Rit Tire for Commander Hui comes out and gets Grumpy Zero with that Discord on him. We got the members of Band, by the way, trying to file in now and get some stalling going on, but Excelsior getting some key kills here. We've got a Diva Bomb coming out. Oh, and Fox are taking down both supports. I don't know what's going on, but we got some kills back and forth. Still a bit of a toss-up here. They're going back and forth, aren't they?
And unfortunately, just a little bit of a lack of awareness there from Napalm Bait, unless they were trying to reset.
I don't know, and they didn't even get a tick for that, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, but they've got one more fight here. Both support ults. They're going to have the Earth Shatter as well. And knowing Commander Hui, they're going to have the...
And Raponics gets a key pick on Lokai, so it's possible Excelsior is going to use this to make their move. They're going to have to. Oh, and Transcendence comes out from Napalm Bait to mitigate the damage from Mailman's Nano on Technician. Technician still has that Earth Shatter though. Oh, but before he can use it, Delicious uses his own. And like I said, Commander Hui coming in with these grenades to follow up on this damage. 3 kills, he's taken down half a band. They're just coming out now. And we've got these kills coming in. A quick punch on Baby Diva. Nothing too shabby.
They will be into overtime here.
This is overtime. We have a beat drop, but unfortunately, it's not covering anybody but himself. We've got that trap triggering Grumpy Zero, and it looks like Excelsior is just going to be taking this point now. Here we go. They were in overtime. That's great to note.
And Excelsior getting a little bit lucky there. They did stack their support ults to get into that, through that initial choke, but it did seem to work out for them thanks to some big plays by their from their sniper there, as well as that big shatter coming out from Delicious.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Yeah, Delicious and Commander Hui just coming in and really cleaning up half of Band in just the course of a couple seconds. So, you know, that shatter with that burst damage on Junkrat really cleaning up the day. So we are just moving on Volskaya. So a minute 56 left for Band. So I believe they are going to be attacking now. Excelsior defense, so we'll see what they pull out.
Because Band capped with over a minute left and Excelsior was in overtime, Excelsior will not get another chance to take this point. So all Band has to do here to win the map is get a single tick onto this point.
Yep, so we'll see what they're going to do. Just like we were saying before, when you know that you are at a position in which you don't need a full capture of a point, or you don't need to push a payload all the way, you can pull out some far riskier, more explosive strategies. So let's see what they're going to try to do here, knowing that they only need this single tick to win this map.
That's right, Lokai going to come out here on the Widowmaker.
As always,
they are fighting into a Soldier, which we don't see a lot of right now.
We do not, but Raponics was making some work on Soldiers, so we'll see what happens here. Bless you. Excelsior pushed back to point here by a bit of the aggression coming out from Band. However, Delicious does take Technician out, so it looks like Band may regroup for the time being. They don't have an awful lot of time, so they want to make these attempts decisive and important. And they don't want to commit more than they can manage to put in.
That's right. Raponics just kind of sitting here in the back line looking for that sniper.
Absolutely. You don't need that sniper harassing your team from the high ground. Technician falls again, and Foxer does a quick trade on Napalm Bait, but both teams are at a 5v5. So we have Raponics trying to take Lokai down. He doesn't, however, he does get him off the high ground, which is just as important. Mailman falls to Thick Daddy. He's coming in, taking down both the Hog and the Moira. Again, a thick hook on the Diva, so we have some really good plays here. Excelsior sees Band trying to come on this point. They just clean him up. They don't want him on this point. And Hui gets a sure kill on Lokai with his Riptire. Knowing him, he'll have another one before this next team fight. They got 40 seconds left on the side of Band, so they really need to make something happen here. And with no ultimates, they're going to really have to try to work to get to this point. Excelsior's making it extremely difficult for them at this time.
That's absolutely right. They're going to go ahead and come in here. They don't have any ultimates. They may have their tank ults
great
here.
Hook again. Napalm Bait and Thick Daddy taking down the Hog for Excelsior, for Band. So we have a Coalescence coming out from Mailman. Thick Daddy coming into the point pretty low on health, so we'll see what happens. Lokai coming in, cleaning up some headshots. We'll see if he can get some more work done for Band. We're coming into overtime right now. Oh, and we have Raponics and Flamia cleaning up with his damage. We've got a visor out from Soldier and that Valkyrie, that infinite ammo coming out from Mercy, that is scarier than you could imagine.
Absolutely. She flew right up into that
Ooh.
Widow's face and
You
took her down.
can't be afraid. When you're in overtime and you can fly around and you have infinite ammo, I think at that moment Widow needs to be afraid. Let's go ahead and watch this good Ryan boy play. Ooh, and we were able to witness this, and oh, that's what happened. I saw the 2 charge kills on the kill feed. I didn't quite see what happened, so I'm glad that was the play.
The environmental kills, that's how you get your play of the game.
That is how you get that play.
Every
Fantastic,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, so, really great match here.
Entertaining as all hell.
Yeah, Microsoft Excelsior did take it a map ago, but that did not lessen the competition on that last map.
No, it did not.
Banned, by the way, really giving them a run for their money there.
Yeah, just like we were mentioning before after the King's Row map, we are seeing that Excelsior definitely performed a little higher than Band through the maps. However, Band did not go down without a fight. We definitely saw them putting their all into these fights and these maps here. So I'm very happy that both of these teams played to the best of their ability. It seemed tonight. It was fantastic. I was entertained the entire time I was casting, and hopefully that translates to the actual casting itself.
We'll see about
we'll
that.
See. I'll watch the VOD later and cry.
Yeah. But
Anyways,
yeah,
to you, Suds.
really good work by both teams here. Microsoft Excelsior just really showing that they are a step above here right now in this league, and it does sound like they've got a member or two who has hit our SR cap for the tournament, so they will not be eligible to play in the next stage.
Right.
So we'll see how that affects the team. Honestly, they've got so many superstars on this team. I don't know if losing 1 or 2 is going to hurt them that bad. But Ben, by the way, really showing us some good Overwatch here tonight.
Yeah.
Playing really well. Great team strategy. Lokai especially popping off. We saw some really good diva play from Foxer bullying the enemy team as well as hitting those big diva bombs, especially that triple bomb
on
there on
Junkertown.
Junkertown.
Yep.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see more from both of these teams as we move forward to the tournament.
Right, yeah. I hope to have the pleasure to cast for both or either of these teams in the future, so we'll see how they progress through the matches here. We're still, again, Stage 2, Week 3. We are still going strong on games. We're still going to see quite a bit more from these players and these teams, so I hope everybody who joined us today can join us again at a later date. We're pretty excited to keep on casting for this, so we'll see how that goes.
Absolutely. For those of you still here, I believe there's another game going on right now in the league. If you want to go take a look at that, you can find the link for that in the Discord, as well as there's a handful of games happening tomorrow night, so keep an eye out for those.
Yeah, please go watch them. Unfortunately, we can't cast, but that does not mean you shouldn't watch it.
We're
amazing.
We have an array of great casters here for this league, so, you know, watch whoever's casting, because the games are just as good.
Exactly.
So,
plenty of great people working on this together, so again, a lot of people made this happen, so it's fantastic to take part in it.
Yep. So thanks a lot for joining us once again. This has been Suds and Bubbles and Avi.
Yep. I'm Avi, and that guy is Suds.
That's absolutely right. This has been a presentation of the OWLet Community Tournament. So keep tuning in for future games, and we will see you guys later.
Have a great night, y'all.
Bye-bye.